and all the other devices, right? So they are plugging into this lifestyle intervention. So if you know that you have to lose weight, or someone has to take care of some, like you have to go walking 150 minutes a week, lifestyle interventions allow you to understand whether it's working for an individual and how to tailor that using the data that you collect. And all that data is collected through this phenomena called patient-generated health data. It's multiple ways you can collect it. Fitbit is the most common example, retail example. You have, many of you might already have a blood pressure machine at home where you're taking your own blood pressure. Now, if that blood pressure machine could connect over the cellular network and send your data on a regular basis to a data center, and then when the next time you go to your doctor, that data becomes available to your doctor when she or he pulls up the chart. That's the power of data, and then that's the power of analytics. Same thing is with glucometer. If you want to analyze the blood sugar in your data, if there's a glucometer where you check your data, but that data is now connected over cell. See, cell network is available everywhere. It takes a very small device for your glucometer to now become a transmitter. And then that data is sent back to a center. And when next time you're going to your physician knows exactly how your glucose level is changing. Then you can also have a discussion. Like there are interventions where you have registered nurses who are monitoring these glucose levels. And then, next day morning they're calling you and they're saying, okay, we noticed a spike. Did you have a lot of sweets? Did you go out drinking? What happened last night? Help us understand. That's when, to me and, to all of us, right, as scientists and as people who are working with data, that's the social responsibility, and that's when you start making a difference using the power of analytics in your society. Lot of challenges, right? You have a lot of adherence challenges, loss of human touch. That's a big challenge. When you go into your physician, what you do not want is for your physician to just type, right? You want that eye contact. But there are numerous ways to undertake the challenges. Social media is playing a big role in healthcare. Because what it's doing is that, like you must have heard about like Google flu trends, right? What Google did is, they're depending on the number of people who are searching for flu, they started plotting, and it was being used by the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, as a precursor to understand the outbreak of flu. So similarly, if people are asking questions on social media for a particular disease, and that can be monitored. So that can be a precursor to the outbreak of a disease. Finally, in healthcare, the challenge is a little different than a lot of other places because healthcare as a system has a high human touch point. So yes, machine, automation, artificial intelligence, those are all nice words to have in the healthcare system. But at the end of the day, when you go to visit your doctor, what you want is empathy. You want the doctor to listen to you and have that human touch. So in this particular case, machine learning, analytics become more of an IA tool, which is intelligence automation. They are designed to assist the physician. It's never about man versus machine. It's more about man and machine coming together for the healthcare. So there are different, futuristic things, EMR assistant, robots, gamification that comes in. And finally, I think if there are questions, I'll be happy to take them. Yes. Yes. Oh, some of the questions. Okay, so I guess one question was from Professor Rajagopal from SI. Yes, okay, thank you. So his question is that if 76% were avoidable among 17% within 30 days, so what is happening there? Why is data analytics not making a difference? right? Like, if that's the point. I mean, it is, see, it's a very good question, right? It is, see, in the case of dealing with humans, right, what ends up happening is that, I'll give you an example, right? Like, so there was in California, there was a hospital where they had a gentleman who was released from the hospital, and one of the recommendations for that gentleman was that you have to have fresh fruits, okay, on a daily basis, okay. So that's the recommendation, and if that happens, readmission is taken care of, and so on and so forth. What it doesn't address is that this gentleman was living in a part of the city where she or he has no support system. He was living by himself. He doesn't own a car. For him to go to the nearest fresh fruit bazaar, he had to hop 2 buses. And we are talking about someone who was close to 70. So the point being that oftentimes we look at data, we make a that's where this man and machine comes in. We have the model make a prediction for us. But we also have to look at it from a holistic standpoint, is how applicable is this for the individual that I'm talking to? So if I am asking for someone to have a fresh fruit, but that person has to travel an hour plus each way to get to the fresh fruit market, and he's almost like a 70-year-old individual who has to take 2 buses to get there, what are the chances of that person following? So that, I think, is the biggest problem. So model tells us that, okay, this is what needs to be done, right? There is patient negligence, absolutely. Sorry? Yes, empathy. Yes, exactly. That is what is missing oftentimes. So are we making strides? Absolutely. But everything, there is a big human aspect to healthcare, which makes it very different from manufacturing, which makes it different from retail. You just cannot approach it, oh, my model told me so, right? Great, yes, we are not questioning the credibility of the model. But what needs to happen is that that's one of the many factors that go in to the healthcare system. And I think that's the challenge that we are facing right now.
How is the doctor's response to analytical?
So the question is, how do the doctors respond to analytical findings? It depends a lot on the doctor. There are some who are embracing this analytics because it helps them have a better outcome, and that allows them to practice better. But then there are others who are more like, I know, are you telling me that a model knows better than me? Right? So but it depends a lot on the individual. What I would say is that the majority are in the first category. They are more open to using artificial intelligence and data to improve. See, because at the end of the day, the physicians are also providing a service, right? And if you tell me that if I'm driving a car, if I'm a driver, and if you tell me that, you have this tool that will help me to drive better, putting my ego aside, that's something that I should tap into. That's what it's.
Thank you so much, Arnab.